So before we start with the UFC, we had a fight that happened last week between Floyd Mayweather and Logan Paul. The fight didn't exactly go as everybody was expecting it to go. What did you think of the fight, and did you think it was a waste to watch?
Well, I just want to start out by saying that I truly believe that there was a no knockout contract on that fight. I did see the footage where Floyd was holding up Paul. He says he didn't get knocked out. However, the evidence is kind of clear to me that there was a rigged fight. I knew that coming in, that this was probably going to be some type of agreement fight, extra stuff in the contract that would affect the fight. I did have Mayweather winning that fight in before 8 rounds, but it ended up going the distance. I was really surprised that Floyd didn't knock him out at the end because their trainers were actually talking to Logan Paul, and they told him that Floyd's going to turn it on in the later rounds. So he ended up doing that and didn't finish Paul, which I thought was a win for Paul. And I think it sealed his legacy as a somewhat legitimate boxer. And I hope that he gets another opponent, maybe not as good as Floyd, but I really hope that he gets another decent opponent and can show us what he can do, because I liked what he did against Mayweather, but he's got to keep his hands up. He's got to keep his hands up. So that's my advice to him.
Well, the first round, Logan Paul looked pretty good, but then after the first round, he looked super tired, I remember, and he was just like basically hugging Floyd Mayweather the rest of the rounds. And I thought the same thing too, because Floyd Mayweather did the same thing when he fought Conor McGregor. He just kind of waited around, and then like the 7th or 8th round, that's when he went ham on him and finally had technically a technical knockout. But let's see here, did it look worse for Floyd Mayweather since he wasn't able to knock out Logan Paul?
I think it did look worse for Mayweather as far as what he did in the first round, because being that I think it was a rigged fight, I didn't think Mayweather was even trying to hurt Paul in the first round because he knew that was going to lose all the pay-per-view money. However, I don't think Mayweather cares. He's Money Magic Mayweather, whatever he wants to call himself. As long as he gets that money, he doesn't care. He's probably just lucky he didn't actually catch one of those Logan Paul right hooks coming in. So he actually did get popped with a few of those.
Yeah, I mean, we got to give credit to Logan Paul, but at the same time, Floyd Mayweather, you're one of the greatest boxers of all time. I understand Logan Paul's a lot bigger than you, but you have to get a knockout at least in the later rounds. But that's boxing, basically.
Yeah.
So
Floyd did not look the same, though. I think you can agree. He did not look like he did in his last fight versus McGregor. It looked like he had been, ordering some takeout. But he was still looking good at the end. He still had that power punching and that speed that Mayweather has. He's just as fast as he's always been, and I wouldn't be surprised if he fought again in the near future, honestly.
I think if it really depends on how much money he would get, and I think if he would get enough money, I think he would definitely consider it. Thanks for listening to the Sports Town Podcast, or the STP Pod for short. If you want to check out more videos of the Sports Town Podcast, click on the left. If you want to subscribe to the channel, click on the right.